Welcome back, my Jedi friends, and in today's video we discuss, is it best to be empathic or to tell someone to fuck off? And this is the empath guide to when is right and when is not, and looking at the pros and cons of both, folks, of both. So for those that are new to the channel, well, you're in for a wild ride. To those that are my regulars, well, you will understand the context of most of what I'm about to say. This is just bringing to the forefront this ongoing battle of us being forced to wake up. Being forced to wake up, folks. And if you are new, then my content really indicates that life circumstances will accumulate in your life until you are invited to explore alternatives, which was usually telling people to fuck off. And maybe you got triggered by the title, which you're perfectly entitled to do. It was designed to trigger you. Because the odds are you've been triggered in an area of your life now, and you are wondering what to do about it. After a lifetime or an extended period of being nice to everyone, you've realized that there's people in your life that it doesn't matter how nice you are to them, they're going to be assholes. And that is the world that we live in, folks. That's the world we live in. So let's cover this. Let's go macro. Let's zoom right out now. Let's look at the big picture. I am not here to tell you to blame anyone for anything because the big picture view is that you planned all of this to wake you up. So there may be narcissists, there may be complete psychopaths, arseholes, call them what you wish. People with no empathy that come into your life and they just keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. They find your wounds, they find your trigger points, and they press. They know exactly where. It's like dickhead acupressure. Acupuncture for bullshit is what it is because they know exactly where to stick the pin to get the maximum impact. The maximum impact, they know all your vulnerabilities, they know your weaknesses, they know how to trigger you, my Jedi friends. They know how to trigger you. These are the people we're talking about. These aren't the one-offs, these are the people, the serial offenders, the people that are very good at knowing how to fuck you up. How to fuck you up, folks. How to fuck you off. How to make you feel like shit. These people. This is what we're talking about today. So this isn't for everybody because usually if you're an empath, then your default measure is empathy. So let's just start there. Your default measure is empathy. Now, if I was doing this video to psychopaths or narcissists, I'd be advising them the other way because their default is the complete opposite. It's being an asshole. And quite honestly, there's no way a narcissist or a psychopath would watch a video on how to be more empathic. They don't give a fuck, folks. That's the bottom line. Some people do not give a fuck. And this is a thing that a lot of empaths have to wake up to, is that not everyone is like you. Not everyone can be reasoned with. Not everyone can find an emotional balance to what they've done. And not everyone can be accountable for the stuff that they do. In fact, quite the opposite, my Jedi friends. There are some people out there that get all of their currency from being complete arseholes, from stealing your energy and from making you feel like shit. That is their gold. That is their energy. That is they suck on your fire, they suck on your energy. And when you're feeling drained, they get a right buzz out of it. Because watching people squirm around, there is a for a narcissist and lesser degree to a psychopath, there is a very sadistic side to the way that they manipulate energy, that their pleasure comes from your pain. And that's what we're talking about here. And the empath gets caught in these situations, in these relationships, thinking that people are like them, thinking that you can reason with them, thinking that you can have a reasonable conversation and people will understand the error of their ways. When in actual fact, there are some people that not only won't see the error of their ways from your perspective, but they will get fired up. They will love the fact that you're so upset that you have to point this out. They'll reel you in and they'll tell you what they want. They might nod, they might agree with you in the short term, but then they'll revert to their default setting somewhere down the line. That is how narcissistic abuse goes on. The narcissist knows what to say and when to say it. They know when to apologize and when to not. They'll apologize to keep you just enough in their web for long enough to then reset, to press the reset, folks. And anyone that's been caught in a narcissistic relationship will see the patterns. You'll look back, you'll see the patterns. And the empath, being the trusting soul that they are, will usually beat themselves up for not waking up to this dynamic earlier. This is usually the case, my Jedi friends. So, when we're talking about empathy versus fuck off, well, you already know if it's a fuck off or not. You've just been too scared to use it, to wake up, to break out. Because here's the reality check, my Jedi friends. If you are in the web of a narcissist, the only way out is to completely cut the cord, to cut the cord, to cut the cord, my Jedi friends. To go radio silence, to ghost them. Ghost them. Ghost protocol. This is it. Mission impossible to the average empath. Ghost protocol. Go ghost, folks. Go ghost. Because kryptonite to a narcissist or somebody that falls into that remit, the low empathy, get you in my web type character, is that they will do anything and say anything to keep you in the web. And the thing that will drive them nuts is losing control of the situation, of losing their little plaything. And for those of you that watch nature programs, I'll tell you what it's like when an empath gets with a narcissist. It is like a seal being caught by a killer whale. Now, you may have seen these, it's heartbreaking. For the killer whale that catches the seal, it's not enough just to kill them and eat them. No, no, that's not enough. They have to take them out to sea and they have to flip them everywhere. They have to flip them right through the air. They splatter down and then they get caught again and they get flipped around. So they have to be completely exhausted and lose the will to live before they actually get killed. It's not enough to kill them. No, no, they have to make them suffer first. And it's not the same from an energy perspective when an empath gets caught with a narcissist. You are that seal. You are just getting flipped from one place to the next, and you know it feels like you're losing the will to live. And this is how people get trapped in narcissistic relationships. That's how they get trapped because there's like a dependence. It's like you lose the will to live. You can't escape. You feel trapped. You feel like you can't give it, and then you just give up. And it takes a massive will to wake up to this, to wake up. Now, to those of you that are into more of the film genre, if you are Lord of the Rings fans, then you are that king that has gone all white and paled over, and you've got the sneaky person sneaking in your mouth, and Gandalf hasn't arrived yet, and you are being poisoned. You're being poisoned and manipulated. And hopefully somebody will come along like Gandalf. Maybe this video will be a trigger for you. It's designed to be a trigger for you, to wake you up to see what is actually going on because you've been poisoned, you've been manipulated, you have been delusional as well. So a lot of empaths think that the world thinks like them, thinks everyone's the same, thinks we all have a healthy emotional balance, thinks we all have a sense of reason, think we all have accountability. Well, here's the rude awakening, folks. A lot of CEOs are narcissists or psychopaths, which means that they have no sense of empathy. And that enables them to be the CEO and make the tough decisions to let people go, to cut things off. So with the psychopath, they will do it for the good of the many. They'll make the tough decisions for the good of the many. The narcissist is like a vampire and just does it for their own personal aggrandizement, for their own entertainment, folks. They will get entertainment like a gladiator arena. They are Russell Crowe looking to entertain themselves by slaying you down multiple times in the gladiatorial arena, Jedi friends. This is the power dynamic when an empath comes into touch with a narcissist. So the empathy versus fuck off, well, you're probably already good at the empathy. You're watching this video because you're good at the empathy. But this is the awakening of time to tell somebody to fuck off. Fuck off, my Jedi friends. That is where your power lies. Now, this is not a blame game either, because you, if you're honest with yourself, you've probably got energy from going around telling all your friends what an arsehole your partner is, only to go back and do more of it. And here's the brutal reality check. Who's the biggest arsehole? The one that complains about it and goes back for more, or the one who is actually doing the abuse? This is very much a 50-50 energy dynamic, folks, and you can only take responsibility when you take accountability and realize that you're at least 50% to blame for what has happened to you. But here's where it is from an energy perspective. We only win when we take 100% accountability for everything that happens to us. Even if it seems unfair, even if it seems unjustified, even if it seems like the world has delivered an arsehole for their entertainment. If the gods are up there watching us, it's they want to be entertained, and it's like, oh, there's a person, there's a nice person, seems to be having a good time, but that's not very interesting. Let's drop in an arsehole and make their life miserable for our own entertainment. My dad used to say that. If there's a God, he was looking down thinking, who's this Irishman having all of this fun? Let's put a lunatic in his mix. Keeping your sense of humor is a big factor throughout this, my Jedi friends. So, learning to laugh at yourself, learning to laugh at the numerous mistakes that you make is par for the course. It's par for the course. And speaking as someone that's made as many mistakes as most people, probably more, and owned up to them and have to move on from them. We have to learn and move on from them, folks. And they generally happened when my confidence was down, and my confidence was down because I was on the wrong path, my Jedi friends. I was on the wrong path and I hadn't woken up to it. And it's very easy to lose energy and confidence if you're on the wrong path and end up with the wrong person if you're on the wrong path. So, the quick version of this is get on the right path and get out of that relationship with that arsehole. There you go. There it is, folks. Ta-da! But these are the bottom line. This is the power dynamics. These are the pieces of the jigsaw, my Jedi friends. So, just to recap what we've talked about on this video. If you are not connected to your purpose, to the bigger picture of your life, waking up every day excited about what you're doing, then you will get an energy dip. When you get an energy dip, your confidence will go down. When your confidence goes down, you'll attract an arsehole, and you'll keep on the radar of an arsehole for long enough to wake you up to finally tell them to fuck off. Because then you get your power back, you get your energy back, you've got that fuck you attitude to anybody that gets in your way, and you're far more likely to move in the right direction and find the path that you had lost originally and get on it, my folks. Get on it, get on the path. So there you go. That's the reason. And on that, from that perspective, the arsehole or psychopath or narcissist in your life is your friend. They are here. They have been sent. They have been divinely sent to wake you up, and give you the energy and the confidence to say no, and to finally wake up and say no. Enough is enough. And when you reach the enough is enough part, you'll start moving towards stuff that feels better. When you do that, folks, you'll be back on track. So there you go. There is the empathy versus fuck off formula. And once you're on the right track, you won't need to tell anyone to fuck off. They'll just vanish off your radar because you're in your groove doing your thing. But when you're not in your groove doing your thing, you will attract them, folks, like mosquitoes in the middle of the outback. There you go, folks. Like mosquitoes in the outback. And from someone that's been in the outback, there's a lot of mosquitoes there. Even more so, there's a place in North Australia called Kakadu, and that is mosquito heaven, folks. It's also got a good few crocs, and it's also got plenty of uranium. So there you go. There's a combination that you don't want to miss out on. A once in a lifetime cocktail that everybody should experience. That will keep you present and it will keep you alive, my Jedi friends. And on that bombshell note, I shall leave you with the summary. And the summary is do what feels better, get on the right track. And anyone that's not on the track with you, that isn't on path with you, that isn't in alignment with you, that is giving you a hard time, then tell them to fuck off and your life will improve. But that's much easier said than done, my Jedi friends. And if you're not quite ready to do it yet, then do yourself a favor. And if you're finding this for the first time or you're not liked and subscribed to the channel, then you want to do that because it will make you feel better and give you pieces of the jigsaw to move out of this. And conversely, there's another piece just there. So go forth and be empathic when it works for everybody. And if somebody gets in your way or is determined to bring you down or take you off track, just tell them to fuck off.